Greetings, Earth enthusiasts. If you ever wondered about the incredible perspectives our planet has to offer from high above, you're in the right place. I am Dr. Clive Coetzee, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this captivating journey into the world of remote sensing. Welcome. And please remember to like, subscribe to, and share this video. Thank you.
In the previous video tutorial, we played around with some of the terrain analysis functions within the Earth engine itself. So we go to the built-in functions, and we just use that built-in function to generate, for example, the hillside, terrain, aspect, slope, etc., etc. And then obviously we overlay it with the snow images, and we play around with the visualization parameters to try to generate or try to highlight those selected features, i.e. where there's snow and what is the terrain situation looking at that particular area, locations where there's snow. So we're going to continue on that a little bit, but what I want to do is to replicate what we did in that tutorial, the video tutorial, in QGIS, and see whether we can be a little bit better enlightened with what we can do with QGIS, and then hopefully what we've done in Earth Engine will hopefully make a little bit more sense. And I like doing that sort of verification, if you like, or comparison, if you like, either within QGIS or within Excel or any of these software programs, so that because I'm quite familiar with those ones. So if I can figure it out in Excel, then it makes so much more sense in Earth Engine. If I can figure it out in QGIS, then it makes sense in Earth Engine so much more. Okay, because I should get basically the same outcomes or the same results. So without further ado, let's continue. So obviously, first what I need to do, I need to export all my images. Okay, I need to export all my images. Remember, we've created all these images. We've created our snow cover image, our elevation image, our slope, our aspect, hillside, and terrain. Okay, by the way, the aspect ratio, a little bit of research, the aspect ratio is where the feature faces to. Is it northwards facing? It's a degrees of direction of that face. Is it south facing, north facing, east facing, or the degrees? Okay, but I'll show you now. So the hillside is the sunny side or sun hours, sunlight. The number of hours of sunlight at a particular location. So is it getting 5 hours sun or 6 hours sun? Remember, the sun is from east to west. So if the feature is facing north to east, then obviously it will have a very low aspect ratio, etc., etc. So, okay, so these ones are all fitting into the how tall the feature is, how steep the feature is, the direction of the feature, and also then how much sunlight the feature receives. So that's sort of what we talk about: hillside, aspect, slope, elevation, and stuff. And that's coming again from QGIS, because I went to QGIS and I got the explanations in QGIS. Okay, anyway, so first thing that we have to do, we have these layers, okay, and I want to export them so that I can use it in QGIS. Now in QGIS we can generate our own slope, our own aspect, so we can generate them there as well. But again, for comparison, let's export these images to QGIS, and then within QGIS generate those images, and then compare that to see that if those images are the same. Okay, so that's the idea that we're going to play with here. And obviously, again, overlay that with our snow image to highlight those specific features. Okay, so couple of interesting things here. There's our exporting. So we're exporting our snow. Now you'll see interesting, I've added a little a script to this image, because normally it just says snow cover, it doesn't say that. But if I do that, I get a warning, I get a issue in that this snow cover. So the warning basically says pixel not supported, convert images to float. Okay, so when you get, and I got the same with terrain as well, it says there it's different images. The data is inconsistent. It's integer 16 and byte, so it's different formats within the same image, because remember in this terrain image there's actually 3 images. Okay, so if I go to inspector, click on any place, you'll see there's terrain, and terrain has 4 images, and each of these images have different data structures. So we want to put all these data structures to convert them all to the same structure. Okay, so if you get in your export console, once you've instructed Earth Engine to export the image to your Google Drive, and you get a warning that the bands must all have the same structure or convert it to a float, then basically what you do is within your export you just add this .toFloat, and obviously then that open sign basically means the image itself. Okay, so that's how you overcome that. So that's an important note to take note of. If you have warning signs, you cannot export the image because there's data structure problems and it says please convert it to a float, that's how you basically do it, is to float. Okay, and then so we export our snow cover image, we export our elevation or our DEM, and this is one that we're going to use in QGIS to generate, you know, the other terrain images. We export the slope image, we export the aspect image, and then we export the hillside, and then we export the terrain as well. Now again, terrain I've also put to float because we also had a warning there. So I'm now exporting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one am I not? I'm snow cover, elevation, slope, aspect, hillside. Snow cover, elevation, slope, aspect, hill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why am I getting 6 now? Maybe I'm counting like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 6. This is my counting this morning, which is a bit up to the hill. Okay, so I export them. Okay, so I run. Let me save again. I run, and then all my tasks will be in my task column. On my task window, there's all my tasks. And there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know which one is now not showing. But anyway, there's the, okay, I've downloaded terrain, so that's why terrain is not there. Okay, so if I run it again, terrain should become there. Okay, so now I'm basically within my task. I basically just run them. So you basically, to download them or to export them, you click on run. A little window would appear, and these content within this little window is exactly what you've expressed here in the export function, because remember in export function we also express in which folder it must go, etc., etc. So you just run them, and then hopefully all the exports will be successful, and that's when they are in blue. When they are in blue, they're all successful. If they're in red, that means there's a problem. So to figure out what the problem is, you click on this little downward arrow, and it will say what the error is. And then, as I said, now it's about figuring out how to solve this error. Now, interestingly or luckily, within Earth Engine, most of these things are solvable. You either go and search, Google search for possible solutions, and you apply that, or you can actually go to the Earth Engine tutorials and go and look for solutions there. But the best is copy and search it, and somewhere the chances are excellent that somewhere somebody had that problem and somebody solved it. So the resolution should be somewhere in the internet. And I said in this case, to solve this, you basically just say .toFloat open brackets, and that solves it. So just make a mental note in terms of solving that. Okay, now let's go and have a look. So all these items or images been saved to my project folder in my Google Drive. There they said there's elevation, there's aspect, there's hillside, there's snow cover, there's slope, and there's terrain. Okay, so now I can basically just right click on them, any of them, and just say download, and then I download it. Okay, so that's very big, but anyway, we're going to download it. It might take a bit of time, and I'm downloading it to my um, folder on my laptop or my external drive. And there sits the aspect, elevation, hillside, slope, and snow cover. And I'm also going to save terrain. So that will be the 6 images there. So they would be all now. Okay, save. Okay. So now I can. Okay, it's showing that it is saving. It's exporting it to my folder. Okay, so that's all nicely done, all neat, and you'll see there they sit. There's the aspect within my on my external drive. There's all the images. Okay, there you can see. There's the slope image, the hillside image. Let's make it a little bit bigger. View extra large icons. There's elevation, there's slope, snow cover, hillside aspect, and then there's terrain. So the terrain is the latest one that I've done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There they all are. So happy with that. Let's minimize that, and then we're going to go to QGIS. So now we open QGIS. Okay, so this is my version of QGIS. There's later versions I haven't updated, but it's fine for now. Okay, so first thing first, I need to create a new project, and I'm gonna save this project. Okay, so I go to there and I go to my project folder. Where's my folder? And I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna go snow terrain, and I'm just gonna give that the name of it. Okay, lack of imagination. Okay, now I want to bring in all these images. So I go to layer, add layer. Remember they are raster files. Okay, remember they are raster TIFF, GeoTIFF files, which means I have to go to add layer, add raster layer. Then I go to my folder, and then I just basically select them. So aspect, elevation, hillside, slope, snow cover, terrain. So that's all 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you press open. They will be in my data sets here from source. I just said as, add, not as, and close. And there they all are. Okay, there they all are. Okay, so there is my terrain image. There is my, let me just quickly, let's start with snow cover. There's my snow cover image. Remember, they're all now in gray, black to white gray. So we're going to play around with it. But there's my snow cover. There's my slope. There's my hillside. There's my elevation. In fact, I need to make elevation important, because that's how I'm going to generate these ones as well. These images within Earth Engine, I'm going to generate them. There's my hillside. I think we went for that. That's terrain. Let's make terrain last one, because that's the sum of all these ones. And there's my aspect ratio. Remember, aspect, as I said, is the face. How is this features facing? Are they northward facing? Are they south facing? West facing in degrees? Okay, so that's important to understand. The face of it is obviously that will also correspond to hours of time or shade. So that's important. Okay, so there's all our images, and save. Okay, so all my images are in. So for now, I'm not going to work with Earth Engine. I'm going to focus my attention now to QGIS. So the first thing that I want to do, you'll see I don't have a region of interest here. I don't have a region of interest in a polygon format. And I want to do this because you see the hillside. I want to clip this so that I don't have this black outline here. Okay, or I can simply go to hillside, go to properties, and then when I go to my color scheme, I can, let's say, make that 1, and I'm saying clip out of range values, and I go apply, and there you see. Okay, so that's actually better. So I don't actually have to create a region of interest. I can just clip it and clip it for that. So which one is more? I think slope. No, slope is fine. Elevation. I need to clip my elevation. So I go to properties, I go to zero color and I clip out zeros, classify, add. Oops. So there's still values there. So let's go if I do, so let's do 2. Oh, sorry, I forgot to highlight this clip out of range cells. So range value. So that's important. So that will now solve that problem. Okay, there we go. So all of them are now basically covering my region of interest. I don't have unnecessary locations, etc., etc. Okay, so the next thing, let's remember what I normally do is I convert them all into, because remember they're now in degrees. So if I go to its source and I go to the coordinate reference systems, they are all in this specific reference system. Okay, now if I go down, you'll see that in this case they are all in degrees. Okay, they are all in degrees. Now it's difficult to work in degrees. I tend to don't want to work in degrees. I want to convert them into meters. Okay, but maybe we can do that. Well, let's quickly, to do that you basically go to raster, you go to conversion, extract, where do we go, projections, and you go wrap. Okay, so let's quickly do this one. I'm not going to save it, so I'm just going to do that and see if there's any significant difference to it. And you'll see there the numbers change quite a bit, but in terms of the color scheme and stuff it doesn't change, but you can see the numbers change quite a bit because you go from degrees to meters now. Anyway, let's ignore that for now. That's maybe something that we can do a bit later. What I'm more interested now is to see, okay, if I generate a slope function, this one, in QGIS itself, because remember this slope is now generated in engine. So if I generate this within QGIS, will it be the same? Or how close will it be related? Okay. So to generate these, to generate these in QGIS, you go to the raster. Okay. And you see in the raster, it's got analysis here. And that's typically your terrain analysis functions. And you'll see there is slope. Okay, and you'll see there is a aspect, there's the hillside, and it's got a couple more like the sieve, it's got a roughness, etc., etc. So there's a couple more that you can do, but let's quickly go and have a look and see in slope. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate a slope image within QGIS and then compare the slope image, the two slope images. Okay, so I'm going to go slope image, and I choose my, remember you must choose your elevation one. The band is band, and let's quick, I'm not going to save it now, but you can save it there. I'm just going to run it for now and see what happens. Okay, so it's running, and there we are. So now let's quickly compare the two slopes images images with one another. Okay, so remember the first slope here is what we've generated in Earth Engine, and the second slope there, this sign means it's temporary. Okay? So that we know that one is QGIS. So let's compare the two. And what we need to do is just make them a color scheme or something that's quite similar to each other. Okay. And remember, I must do this. So I'm going to go properties. I'm going to go symbology. I'm going to take out the zeros. So I'm going to go the zeros and clip out. So I go apply. Oops. And okay, so that's slope. I need to let's see if we can give them a color scheme. So we're going to go pseudo color. I'm going to go one is out and clip out of bands, and then I'm going to give them, let's go spectral, and I'm going to do inverse this so that flattish area, locations with a flat slope or low slope is in blue, and areas with it's very steep, which has a very high slope, these ones are in red. Okay, so let's go apply. Oops, that's how that one looks. Okay, so let's quickly play around with the mode. Let's go equal interval and see what that looks like. nothing much changed there. So let's go and have a look at quantile. Let's go classify there. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. So the reddish areas, remember that's your steep areas. The blue areas are your flat areas. Okay, so let's do the same. So let's just quickly remember what we've done. We've used this color palette, we've inversed it, and we went to, let's do this. That's not going to be sufficient. Let's make that 8. Quantile, and let's go to apply. Okay, let's do the same with this one as well. So the second one. So let's delete that one, and let's go properties here. And we choose the same color scheme, which is the spectral. We're gonna invert it. We're gonna go to quantile. We're gonna go to quantile, and we're gonna go to 8, and we classify, and we press apply. Okay, so now let's go and go properties. Clip out of, there's the zeros there. I don't want the zeros, so we're gonna just go and ignore the zeros, and we're gonna go apply and slope. Okay, so let's go there. Go properties. It looks very similar. Okay, so there's a 0, 1, 0. And let's quickly do properties, and we'll do 1, 0, but that must be blue. Okay, now let's quickly change this back to our color scheme, which is spectral. Okay, sorry, and we have to inverse them. Oops. Classify. Let's take that one out, delete that one, apply. Yeah, playing with the color schemes a little bit. Why is this is quantile 5 and this is quantile 8? And what I can do is, okay, let me do this. I can go and say save style. So I'm saving that style, and I'm going to apply that style as is to my other one. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to save this style and say terrain. That's my style. I'll save it. Okay, so I press OK. So that's my style. So I go to this one here. I go to properties, and I go to style, load style. Go to my terrain, click open, and press apply. And there we go. Voila. Whoa, goodness gracious. Doesn't look, no, it doesn't want to work with that style. It's not keen on having that style. So let's say, and let's say apply. Okay, so the color schemes are a little bit different. You can clearly see that that is, and let's see what we can do here. It's 8. So it's got the 00, and then it's got, but yeah, we can play around with the color schemes. But the point is that except the changes in the color scheme, the numbers are actually exactly the same. So it generated the same slope. So you can see very similar, except the blue stuff, the red, the steep colors are locations are the same. So let's go and click on that. So I've got both of these two highlighted. Let's click on that specific area, and you'll see they are a little bit different, 29 and 89. So the sheer numbers are quite different. Let's have a look at that one, and why they are all 89. And this one is also 89, 42. So let's go this. That's very flat area, and 89. So, but the colors looks exactly the same, and I think maybe it's to do with the coordinate reference systems that we may have to change so that they are exactly the same. But visually, it looks very similar. Okay, so we can generate, as I said, these images as well. Let's remove this. We can generate these images for our region of interest. Okay, so let's quickly just clip out of that. Let's make that a 0, apply, there we go. So it's clip, there's my slope cover. Okay, there is my snow. So let's quickly have a look and see what we can do with snow. Okay, remember to save. So snow, let's quickly have a look and see properties, and I go to single pseudo color, and let's go here turbo. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm gonna do continuous first of all, say apply, and see what that looks like. That's how it looks. Okay, so let's go equal interval and see what that looks like. And then we go quantile and see what that looks. Now that doesn't look good, so let's stick with equal. We're gonna go equal interval, apply. Let's make that class as 8. See if that makes a little bit of, no, nothing much. But you can see there's our ridge again. I take that out. There's that ridge. Let's go make it a bit bigger. There you can see there's the ridge. And if we, for example, now make, let's say, we take our slope as our primary image, and let's make that slope, let's increase its transparency, and then let's see what happens. Blending, brightness, strength. Let's quickly see if I can invert colors, apply. Let's have a look and see what that looks. Now that's just inverting the colors. That's not going to be apply. So what we're going to do is right click, properties. We're going to go to source or information, transparent. There we go, transparency. And we decrease it, let's say, to 40 and see what that looks like. Okay, so we're going to overlay it similar to what we've done in Earth Engine, and you can see again it fits. But I would think let's take the snow one and let's see if we invert that one. Okay, so I'm going to go to my slope and I'm going to make that full transparent. That goes apply. And then I go to my snow one and let's make the snow one a little bit more transparent. Let's go 50. That looks quite neat. Yeah, that looks quite neat. So you can see the high snow areas. You can clearly see the high snow areas, which is, you can see there's that mountain. You can see the slope of it. It's quite steep, and you can see where the snow lies. Now, let's quickly do hillshade. Okay, there's my hillshade one. Okay, so let's overlay that with snow, so you can clearly see it's on the western side, northeast, southwesterly side. Where the snow typically lies, not on the sunny side. This is the dark side, or the side with less sunlight. Okay, so let's quickly do the hillside and see if we can make this image a little bit better. Let's see if we go properties and we go symbology. Let's see this color here. So let's give it apply. Okay, so we can see the yellowish is the area where there's little sunshine, and the blue is where it's lots of sunshine. Remember, east to west. Let's look slow cover now. You can see there. That looks quite neat. You can see the snow cover. But I think what we need to do with snow cover. Okay, so let's quickly do this. I think I'm going to make this one also. I'm going to make this one dark red. So let's go to this color scheme, make it dark red. Okay, and let's make this one also quite dark red. Make them also dark red. And let's make this one dark blue. So let's make them dark colors. And then obviously this is also quite high, so let's make this also quite dark blue. Let's see what this looks like now. Doesn't change the picture that much, so let's quickly go I'm not happy with this my snow color. Let's equal, and let's make this 5 and classify and apply. Okay, so let's we need to play around with you see the quantile doesn't work for me either. So let's, if we go equal interview equal, let's increase the classes, let's say to 10, and then we can make these all let's make them purple. Let's make this one also let's make it also purple with let's make pink. Let's make so let's quickly apply. Okay, so that so what we need to do, well, let's say we take it out from 100. Okay, so let's make it a minimum 100 and clip out it. Okay, so let's say apply. There we go. There we go. Okay, now you can, that looks a little bit better. So I'm just highlighting all the areas, and let's make it now 5, and let's make this also, now let's leave it like that, and we play apply. And you can see the dark red areas is high snow content, and as I said, so that, I think we can play around with it to make it even more better and better. Let's make, if we make this one white, let's see what that looks like. White, there's white. Let's make it white. Let's make it white and see what that looks like. Apply. See, there's very few of them that's got that. So let's make this one white as well. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see the white coming through, and then I think what we can do is we can then make this one, let's make that one red, and let's make that one dark blue, and let's make that one let's make it green. Let's play around with it. There we go, something to that effect. Let's play around with the colors. Okay, so that's hillside clearly. So we looked at that. So there's our snow areas, and then the aspect ratio is roughly the same. So let's say there's the aspect. It indicates the direction of these features. So let's do that one. Let's make, what color scheme shall we do that one? Let's have a look and see what's available. So let's go to all color scheme. Shall we do Inferno? Let's go this one. Let's see what this looks like. So I'm going to invert it. Invert the ramp. We're going to go equal interview, and let's say classify and apply. So the green is okay. So let's quickly have a look and see what we're saying here. If we go to let's say we go to green. Green is 42. Let's go to this color here, 164. Let's go there, 196. So I would assume, let's go here, 325. So that's southwards facing is 324. Let's go to the opposite. That's northwards facing. We go here. That's eastwards facing, and let's go there. That's westwards. That's westwards facing. Okay. So what? Sorry. Go back to that. So what we're saying here is, it is the face of it. Now let's quickly go and have a look. I found this tutorial here. So it says that if we go to aspect, the aspect of the terrain refers to direction it's facing in. Okay, so the aspect of the terrain refers to direction it's facing in. Since the study is taking place in the southern hemisphere, property should ideally be built on a northern face slope. Okay, so that's just northern is that you out of the sun. So southern, because it's a southern area, southern atmosphere, sun is east, comes up in the east and goes down in the west. So you want to build north to south. But anyway, okay, so it's a direction. Okay, so that gives you direction. Now, if we overlay that with hillside, you'll see it's the green is the blue area. You can see there, the green, and the blue area corresponds very, very strongly with one another. And obviously, the red area and the yellow, obviously, is roughly the same thing. If I overlay the snow cover, you'll see where the snow sits. 90% of the snow is in my red area. I do hillside, you can see there's a bit of snow here in the blue. That area, well, it's more this side as well. Anyway, so again, let's save again. Okay, so that's quite neat. We can, yeah, now it's starting to make sense. We can play around with the colors. Now what we've done in Earth Engine, this one here is starting to make a bit more sense. And I said I like to work in QGIS simply because I understand QGIS, and it's nice. It's easy to work on QGIS, and you can play around. I think much better than what you can play around in Google Earth Engine. But now, as I said, it's starting to make much more sense. You can see there as well the snow area around this ridge, and you can see there's a snow area around this ridge. There's a bit of snow there. There's a bit of snow there. So we can identify our snow areas. So let's quickly, okay, there's our hillside, there's our aspect, there's our hillside, there's our, we haven't done much on elevation, but anyway, there's our slope, and there's our snow. You can see our snow is also on this area. If I just take that on, there's our snow map. You can see these are the areas of high snow. There's my terrain. Okay, there's my terrain, and remember the terrain has now 3 bands here: elevation, slope, and aspect. And that's how that specific. So this is what we call a. We go to raster, we can go to a virtual raster builder, and we can duplicate it by just adding them in. If we haven't downloaded this, but anyway, so this is terrain. Now, obviously, I can play around with the images, the bands here. I can swap them around, but it does give you indication of dark purple areas here. Would be areas of, let's quickly have a look at it. So dark purple, if I go to my thing, I go to dark purple areas, let's that area there. That's high elevation, flat slope, aspect, and hillside. If I go to those areas, it's anyway, so you can get an understanding of what each color represents by using this buttons like the inspector, and you get the numbers, and you can sort of then figure out the puzzle here in terms of when is a location blue, when it's it purple, when it's it this, when it's it that, by using a button and have a look at the numbers. Anyway, let's save it. Okay, so that was just quickly seeing if we can duplicate in QGIS what we've done in Earth Engine, and it looks like it. And obviously what we've done in Earth Engine we can duplicate in QGIS, and obviously I like it because in QGIS it makes a lot of sense to me, so I can feel more comfortable and more confident of doing this in Earth Engine, because now at least I know sort of what is happening. And again, I can duplicate now in Earth Engine what I've done in QGIS. So that's great. That's good news. Okay, so yeah, let's leave it there for now. Until the next one. Please like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you on the other side.